talking. Sometimes I think about, does love still exist? Yeah, I have my doubts. On the street, I check out how brothers be living. Yo, let's just say, kid, it ain't no Thanksgiving. We got people shooting dope, ain't never heard of hope. We got others with the gat and the brothers with the fucking scope. As I enter the project center rec rooms, some brothers might see the doom. I see my nigga Paulo, fat pockets of papes. He knows the neighborhood biddies with all the dopest shapes. There goes Rollo with the blowout fro. He's got a gat, hey yo niggas gots to go. No show is live with narrating, fuck Memorex. My nigga Rollo's got a gat in Paulo's chest. One slug blasted out, down boy died. Now show me some love, kid, it sounds like a fucking yes, you lie. Know the struggle goes on, people try to survive, hold on. But we know it's been so long, pain without a limit, so wrong. Sometimes I think how the world come to this, a place where every man and woman needs a therapist.
Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. It has been some rough times, man. It seems like Americans are slowly getting used to this idea that soon Trump might actually take office if he gets the protocols down for taking office. I want to first of all say folks are going to miss Biden, even though there's people that don't agree with everything with you could say U.S. foreign policy, not even Biden, but U.S. foreign policy. Some Americans don't agree with it. They have been led to believe that, you know, hey man, with all this conflict going on, there ain't enough money to go around for healthcare. There ain't enough money to go around for education. You know, we can't forgive student debt. I wish it was called something else. Just like get rid of the idea that, you know, that an educated society is a problem, you know, because, you know, that an educated society is just something for people that, you know, got all the money to do it. I don't know. You know, have the money to pay for the university, have the money to pay for the tech trade schools, you know, for the new industries. And I'm sure, you know, maybe some states might have some infrastructure money that might help folks get educated for that. But I mean, as I hear it, it's a common practice in the US that, you know, people get charged for that kind of stuff. But it's not a common practice across the Western world, across NATO nations. It's not a practice of charge people to go to school. In fact, in places like the one I live in Denmark, people actually get paid to go to school. They get paid to go to technical school. They get paid to go to university. If you want to be a doctor, you get paid to be a doctor, to educate yourself. There's no excuse about not having enough money or not having the same opportunity that someone else has. You know, in the US, they make it seem like if you don't have money for the trade school, hey, you just didn't work hard enough. Well, look at how things are turning out for people that don't even go to trade school. Do they have enough money for the university? Do they have enough money for housing? Do they have enough money? Are they getting paid a fair wage to even have something extra to pay for university? I mean, who's paying for their vacation at their job? Who's paying for the health care? You know? And we have a new coming government, or, you know, that is insisting that these things be rolled back, that, you know, they will make sure that students will have debt for being educated so you can get a job, so you can pay taxes. What is that about? I don't get that. When you have a trade skill, when you have a job, you pay taxes. Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't sound to me like the numbers are adding up. The US is the most powerful country that's ever existed. And people shouldn't look at that as like a negative thing or a positive thing, but it's a thing. It's both. To some people, hey, man, you guys have too much power across the globe. To other people, it's, you know, hey, man, you know, we should not be worried about the globe. You know, let's worry about ourselves first. Let's put tariffs up, so people get charged more money for goods. Let's pull the military back. So our businesses around the world, around the globe, you know, yes, businesses, ships, containers, and businesses, oil, mining, all types of stuff, tech, trade, just everything. Who do you think's protecting that when it's traveling somewhere to be sold? I mean, how long do you think that's going to last? American corporations having any access to the globe? I mean, listen, folks, something's not adding up with the right wing. I mean, the norm is not adding up because, of course, there's loads of money, right? But 27 trillion a year, and for the last 30 years, 20 something years, the GDP has gone up $1 trillion a year. You know, CEOs, they're getting paid 3,000 times what an average employee gets for the same companies. And this has been going on for decades now. They're making more now, a CEO in the US. The top ones, the real CEOs of corporations, they're making more money than people have ever made. They have all the insurance anyone could need. They can pay for their health care. They can pay for their education. But what about you, the worker, the person that's employed? What about you? Does your employee at your company, do they have a vacation package for you, for their employees? Do they have health care packages for their employees? Um, yeah, we know Walmart is not doing that great. We know Amazon employees are not doing that great. They're not doing anywhere close to what the CEOs, I mean, the employees are being asked to crunch prices, and the CEOs are being asked to take that savings from crunching prices and give it to them as a bonus. That's what's happening. And that's been regular, that's been average. But how do you get the legislator, the congressional members from your states to vote for something better? How do you get that? And right when you have a conversation, which thankfully Biden and Harris really, really went strong on trying to usher in, they did make some moves which were fought, you know, arm and leg and tooth by Republican uh, lawyers across the country, state to state, fighting things like the student debt forgiveness rollout, fighting things like the rescue plan for farmers. The farmers, they got this. When they issued the first plan every year, every few years they give some money to farmers. Well, this has been going on for decades. Well, did you know that discrimination has been going on for decades too? That when the federal government gives out that money, the states don't always share it fairly and equally with farmers. Sometimes you could just show up, and depending on your background, how you look, things like that, maybe your farm is not protected. Maybe you haven't gotten any of those loans that the federal government gave out for 20 years or so. And maybe you're behind now because you didn't get any of that help and support. Well, when Biden and Harris took it I mean, they didn't take it to court. They passed it in Congress and in the Senate, and Biden signed it. Well, Republicans took that to court, and they stopped the rollout of the American, American Rescue Plan, right, for farmers, right? Minority farmers, black farmers. And it's being held up in court because they say, hey, even though it was about discrimination, they say, hey, you mentioned black and minority. That's discriminating towards white farmers. Were white farmers discriminated against in the beginning? So that bill was to address the discrimination. And of course, Republicans, they see addressing discrimination as being discriminatory. Doesn't make sense. How does the Supreme Court feel about that? How do justices around the country feel about that? Is that what you think addressing discrimination is? Do you think it's discriminatory to bring up racial discrimination? Do you think that's discriminatory? Well, that's been the argument in the US. So, yeah. So, again, some people don't like it that I might say this, But I want to thank President Biden for paying attention to the globe, taking a look around, not just at war, but taking a look at trade, taking a look at security, taking a look at society, how many people get killed by weapons. When Biden got in office, violent crime descended, it decreased. When Trump was in office last time, it rose. I mean, maybe that's going to happen again. Who knows? But in any case, y'all, so much is going on, and every day there's more updates and more updates. I mean, Trump has he's got the billionaire squad. It's clear that he was not running on an America first thing, because a lot of the people, I mean, are they even, what is this, first generation Americans with billions of dollars in his cabinet? I mean, hey, I'm not one to really think about your background as an American. I myself come from the United States of America. My family has been there since the colonial periods, since there was a country called the United States of America, and I don't even look at foreigners or migrants as something strange. I look at it as basic and obvious. Well, people are screaming now about this idea that they're going to kick out immigrants, migrants that have been working in the country, that pay taxes. Of course, they don't get any assistance back because of that, because they're kind of caught in the middle. But what about those farmers again? Who's going to produce your fruits and vegetables in the United States? Who's going to pick them? Who's going to go out and pick it? Is it going to be machines? Do you want machines? Do you want robots picking your fruit and vegetables? Is that where the industry is going? How long is that going to take? And by the way, why don't you give people access to free trade schools so they can upgrade their knowledge, upgrade their education, upgrade their standing, so they can get a newer job, a different job? You see what I mean? But that wasn't what Trumpsters were saying. They were saying these migrants are taking our jobs. Yes, the Mexicans, the Guatemalans, the Central Americans, they were complaining. Certain Americans, the MAGA Americans, were complaining about them coming on programs and doing jobs that other Americans, quite frankly, did not want to do when they were asked. So their corporations went out, lobbied the government to find a way to get that industry pumping. And they need workers. They need low wage workers. Why low wage? Because you obviously don't want the prices to go up on fruits and vegetables, right? But that is what's happening, so the ends are meeting, and this is just what it is, but I want people to remain positive and strong about it. A lot of us, I was also a little taken out by this election. I don't agree with the concept of what we define as free and fair. I don't think billionaires and money overflowing, overflooding media, controlling the dialogue, missing even events. Journalists missed a lot of events with Trump. I mean, journalists, even today, Trump can go on TV and they're not really calling him out when he lies. I mean, what kind of journalism is that when you don't say that's not true? What is up with that? And is it the billionaires that own the media outlets that are somewhat biased without knowing it, subconsciously biased? Or is it that they're just too far away from the average American to really know? Or is it just that they're so dumbfounded by Trump, they don't know how to call him out? Well, you better get used to it. Maybe you're getting paid too much, because there's a lot of Americans that aren't getting paid that much that would know exactly what to say to Trump. There's loads of them. But corporate media doesn't seem to want to take those points up. Now, corporate media, you are a part of the society. Do you want someone bum rushing the Capitol with weapons and taking? Do you want someone bum rushing your company and just taking what they want, ransacking your business, ransacking CNN? Is that what you want? Because, you know, somebody did that to the Capitol and basically got a slap on the wrist. No one did anything really about it. Not conclusive. No one stopped the threat. Everyone, the conversation now is, hey, pardon people. As a matter of fact, Clyburn, oh my goodness, man. Clyburn. I'm so sick by Clyburn. I'm so sick of this. Clyburn. Rep. Isn't this Rep Clyburn? Clyburn. I think he said something like, my goodness, man. Look at this. Here we go.
As an expert in over 15 languages, I'm thrilled to try out this new pocket.
2 seconds. Let me let this play out. All right, here we go, y'all.
Is Congressman James Clyburn of South Carolina. Congressman Clyburn, welcome back to the Saturday Show. Why did you feel it was important for you to encourage the president to make the decision that he did, and that was to pardon his son, Hunter?
Well, thank you very much for having me. It is the season for us to think about these sort of things. And I was with the president 2 Fridays ago. And I said to him that we were about to embark upon the season of thankfulness, forgiveness, that we are in a period of time that no one thought we would be in, that the circumstances surrounding all of government
Yo, thanks. Appreciate that. Damn, I was muted. Yeah, but in any case, here, Clyburn stopped. I appreciate that. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, Clyburn, right? He's about to ask for Biden to pardon Trump. Now, what did he just say here? Let me go back to that point. He said that
of thankfulness, forgiveness, that we are in a period of time that no one thought we would be in.
we are in a period of time that no one thought we would be in. That's where I was. Wrong. We're not in a period of time that no one thought we would be in. People have been giving warnings about this since before Trump got in office in 2016 and every day after. Every day after. When the military is saying, hey, you know, someone, you know, has ties to Russia, and could be leaking secrets to Russia. We're concerned. Yeah. You didn't have any idea what the implications of that could be. When you have a nation where if you're a billionaire, that makes you more important than the average voter. I mean, when did that, what did you think would happen when you just make elections about who has money, the most money? Who has the most money? Well, Elon Musk has the most money now. Did you like that? Did you ever think about that before? The billionaires, what billionaires would do one day? Right now, I mean, you should have. You should have. Because somehow billionaires got a whole lot more money than the average American. And you don't hear any of those billionaires going out there advocating for health care, advocating for fair and equal housing, advocating for paid education. You don't see Elon Musk giving a damn if some poor kid or some middle class kid can get into tech school. You don't see him complaining about that. And it shouldn't just be his tech school. It should just be a general rule. A general rule. Crime. Do you know how many people would choose something else if they had something else? I mean, and I'm not trying to replace hard work, but look, Elon Musk didn't become a billionaire through hard work. Trump didn't become a billionaire through hard work. You really have to work hard to fuck up $1 billion. Once you have it, once it's given to you, once you inherit it. Yes, Elon Musk, Trump inherited loads of money. You know, you have to be a complete idiot to fuck that up because the tax system is working for you exclusively. You are exclusively charged with paying less taxes than the less percentage of your earnings than the average American. That's what billionaires get in the US. And look what people get back. They get that back. And where does it do? It seems to affect persons like Clyburn.
The circumstances
I'm not dissing Clyburn on a whole lot of stuff, but this one, he's out of his damn.
Surrounding all of government and those who participate in it is different. And then I said to him, that you're a dad, and you have a son that is targeted, and everybody knows that. You have an obligation to protect your son from what could become an eventuality if all of these people were to keep their promises, to fulfill their threats, to go after people. So I asked him to really consider it. He was a bit reticent. He was. But I was a little bit insistent. Mm-hmm. As a father myself, I believe we are obligated, especially, I believe in love, I believe in tough love. But there's one thing to have tough love. It's something else to have vengeance thrown at you, have persecution. One thing to prosecute is something else to persecute.
Mm-hmm. Congressman Clyburn, let me get you to clear something.
Well, Americans know tough love. Tough love is when you're in the military, you come home to your country that you fought for, shed blood over, watched many of fellow Americans shed their blood. Then they come back home, and where do they live? What's up with their health care? Are they getting psychological help? Are they getting help being assimilated back into society? Housing help? Are they getting help being able to move on? I mean, there's going to be a whole lot of PTSD. I just don't buy this this approach of tough love. Yo, Americans live a tough life for the wealthiest nation on earth to ever exist. Americans walking around with guns everywhere in the wealthiest nation on earth. Why do you need the guns? It's obvious, because the wealth is not being shared. That's it. If you share the wealth, if you give people access to education, fair access. I'm talking about life-saving access to education, like the type that will get you a trade, the type that will get you a job where you can afford something without the debt. You see, a lot of people would choose that, but it's not quite an option. And I might be rambling a little bit, but I know what the hell I'm talking about. So I really wish, um, folks challenge me sometimes on that. I'm American born and raised, but I've traveled to a lot of places and I live outside of the US. And what I'm been telling folks and what I will continue to tell folks is this standard of thinking that this is a normal way of doing things is absolutely incorrect. It is patriotism to give everyone access to healthcare. That's true patriotism. Fair and equal housing. That's true patriotism. Healthcare, education, housing, that's patriotism. These are the elements where the United States seems to be reneging on when it comes to patriotism. No problem getting you out there to fight. And by the way, the military is a good opportunity for a lot of people. But the thing about it is that, once people join the military, they're kind of in the US, they literally have gotten used to listening to congressmen on the right, senators on the right, president elects on the right, talking down about their service and valuing people that would never ever lift a finger in a war, you know, um, which are the billionaires. So, Americans, you are in a serious fight over classism. You're in a serious fight over dictatorship, oligarchy, you know, and I hope people really wake up for it. But let's hear some more of Clyburn here.
Something up because I'm a little confused. On Tuesday, you were asked on CNN whether you thought President Biden should pardon Donald Trump. And I'm just going to ask you the question directly. Do you think that President Biden should pardon Donald Trump? And if so, why?
Yes, I do think so. And I think he should pardon all of those people that have been accused and have been targeted so that we can clean the slate. We can have an air of.
What makes you think that Republicans are interested in clearing the air? Are they talking like it? When was the last time you saw that? They had no problem lying to you constantly in Trump's term as president the last time. When he got voted out for those 4 years, they had no problem lying through their teeth. And on his way back to the White House, pure, utter lies. Why would you think that a liar understands trying to meet you in the center to get some things done for the people? They literally don't like you, Clyburn, because of your background, because of your politics. You are considered the enemy to them, Clyburn. I mean, yeah. And I know you're a statesman. I know you're a diplomat. You know what I'm saying? But you should also know what I'm saying is true. They hate you for what you stand for. And a lot of other people like you. They hate. And when you get this kind of divide in a nation, it needs to be talked about. It needs to be exposed. It needs to be discussed so that Americans understand your worst problem is a basic problem. You do not care for each other. Because if you did, you would be doing what every other Western nation is doing, and that is making sure all their people have access to education, healthcare, and housing. That's what you would be doing if you don't want to destroy the country, if you want to get a clean slate. That's how you get a clean slate. You don't get a clean slate without reparations, brother. That's simple. You don't get it. It's not coming. And any clean slate, sure, save the country. Do whatever you can do to save the country. Sure, sure. But advocating for housing, healthcare, and education, that's saving the country. That is. So when are people going to get around to that one? You know, when are people going to challenge these Republicans on their lack of patriotism, on their hate for the United States of America? When are people going to challenge them on it? I mean, yeah, but in any case, let's play some more.
Possibilities for the future. If we keep digging at things of the past, I'm not too sure the country will not lose its way.
The country will not lose its way. This must be statesman and Democratic talk or something. This is from the higher ups. I don't know what this is. I don't listen to me when I say that. But the country has lost its way. Yes. Now, it hasn't been perfect at all. There's been crimes against humanity that have taken place within the borders of the United States of America. Getting back on track requires addressing those things. Poverty is it's really a crime against humanity. No access. These are human rights we're talking about. Access to education. And I'm not talking about basic. I'm talking about so you can get a job that pays your bills, a trade job, a technical skill, or more. Right? Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. I think, we need a new breed of Democrat, younger breed. And I'm not dissing Clyburn. I respect his work. And I'm not dissing all the old folks. I like Biden a lot. Actually, I think Biden's sharper than Clyburn, to be honest with you. I think Clyburn is not, I don't know. I'm not trying to diss his negotiating skills because obviously he's a big mover and shaker, right? And he's gotten some Republicans to jump on board here and there. But let's be honest, these votes in the Congress and in the Senate, how they play out with no Republican voting for things that Americans love, that's kind of crazy. I don't get it, but all you got to do is check the votes. People vote how they feel. That's your job. Your job is to not vote the opposite way and then say, but I really am for that, but I just voted against it. No. They voted against basic things. It doesn't get any more basic than education, housing, and healthcare and food. It doesn't get any more basic than that. And I'm afraid to say that this type of attitude combined with the billionaire structure in the United States, with them paying less of a percentage of their earnings than the average American, although they have loads of money, they're the ones that should be paying for shit. You know what I'm saying? But they're not. You see, they're not. They're not paying a fair share. And fair share is a percentage of what you earn. That's a fair share. Billionaires in the old days, they got the money, the violating human rights, genocide, slavery. Elon Musk comes from South Africa, the mineral trade. I mean, does that sound like a nice, fair business to be involved in South Africa? If it was so fair, why the fuck did Elon Musk leave? You see, so no, he's in America now, and he's another billionaire moving. He bought up Twitter. He's gonna buy a media outlet so he can rig another election. And I don't mean rig like stop the votes. I mean by influence, spreading lies That is interference. Now, if you disagree with something, it's fair enough to say that. But when you're lying, that's not fair. When you're lying, that is harming the country more than anything else. It's them that's harming the country. Nobody else needs to do anything to let them off the hook. You go out there, you run up to the Capitol, you knock somebody up over the head, you destroy property, people get killed as a result of your actions, and somehow you want to pardon? You want a pardon from Biden? From Biden? As a good gesture? I don't think Trump gives a fuck. And I don't think all Trump is going to do is take that idea, and if you give it to him, he's going to walk all over it and say, see, I told you Democrats were not fighting for you. That's all he's going to say. And that's what he's been saying.
Now, remember,
He didn't say it out of his mouth. Well, he has said it, actually. But that's been the information that they've spread, that Democrats are not doing what they claim they have a mandate to do. They're represented, the people they represent. Trump is claiming and spreading that information everywhere that Democrats do not support the middle class. That's what they've been doing. So I have no clue about what Clyburn is up to, man.
President Trump has been indicted, has been convicted on state crime. Also, please remember that the United States Supreme Court has given him immunity. And so I'm asking people who question my thought on this to explain to me how he would be any more insulated by this pardon than he seems to already be by the United States Supreme Court with his immunity.
Simple. It's about parties. I mean, do you want your party to live tomorrow? Do you want Democratic voters to vote for the Democratic Party? I mean, in terms of the presidency. So, you got to choose your fights. And people chose this fight. So I'm not too sure. Is Clyburn saying he's not up for that fight? Is that what he's saying? Clyburn, do you have enough money to pay your health care bills? Do you have a nice place to live? How are your kids doing? How much do you get paid? The average American, not even average, if it wasn't a mob of Anglo looking Americans marching up there with a Confederate flag, if it wasn't that, if there happened to be black people marching with an American flag, do you think they would have got that far in the Capitol? Do you think they would have got a pardon? Would Obama get a pardon? Is that what he would get? This is just showing a lot of Democrats what they already have said, what they've tolerated, because Democrats seem to be very reasonable, especially with dissent, right? But this surprises me out of Clyburn,
Well, Congressman, then that would beg the question: why even bother to give him a pardon if he already has immunity?
Exactly. Why give him a pardon if he already has immunity? Let's go, Clyburn.
From the Supreme Court.
Because I think Joe Biden will be demonstrating what he's always demonstrated to me, that he loves this country more than anything else other than maybe his family. He wants to see this country going forward. He doesn't want to see us keep digging into the past, but moving forward. So I think
digging into the past was last week. How come whenever Democrats are talking about something, it's digging into the past? Like, you can't talk about grievances, wrongs committed, without it being called digging into the past. Like, you can just take a wand and just erase all of that that just happened. Hey, y'all, Let's just not, let's stop digging into the past. What if the CIA said that? What if the FBI said that? What if the military said that about Russia? Well, let's not dig in the past. Hey, let's forget Ukraine. Let's not dig in the past. That's what Trump is saying. He's saying, let's not dig in the past. Let me make a deal to end the conflict in Ukraine. Let Ukraine lose 1/3 of their country, and let's just call it a day and tell them, stop digging in the past. I mean, it just makes no sense. You know, Clyburn, there are plenty of people that need to learn their lesson first before they will ever meet you halfway. Some people need to learn the lesson. These people that voted for Trump, they need to experience and see for themselves what they voted for first and learn that lesson before you can meet them in the middle.
It would give a tremendous opportunity for him to demonstrate that kind of concern.
Biden doesn't need to demonstrate it anymore. Biden has demonstrated how much he loves the country the entire time. What did Republicans do? Walk all over it. That's what they did. They did it with a smile. And they even, right after Trump got elected, say, hey, man, we're going to gut the American Health Care Act. They called it Obamacare, though, but that's what the leader of the Congress, of the Republicans in Congress, the majority leader said, you know? So that's what Trump, Trump is cool with that. Trump's cool with that. At least his party is. They haven't spoken out against it. You see, so I don't know what's up with Clyburn here.
For the future of the country.
Well, Congressman Clyburn, this might be
go ahead.
The one and only time we will ever disagree on a subject. Let me get your response to something that Leader Hakeem Jeffries had to say. I'm not going to play the clip. I'm just going to tell you that the Leader Jeffries said that the president should focus on pardoning nonviolent offenders, not members of Congress. Do you anticipate President Biden making a bigger announcement of more pardons, more clemency being granted to average citizens who are caught up in the criminal justice system, who are worthy of a pardon or clemency from the president?
Yes, I do. I think he is going to broaden this concern. And, you can prioritize nonviolent offenders, but I think that a lot of former Congress people have been accused of think they were nonviolent. And so if you're going to focus on nonviolent offenders, that would include Congress people. I won't call in the names, but in one or two instances, these things were just victimless. And people do make mistakes, and we do forgive, and we do allow second chance. Just because you get elected to Congress doesn't mean you give up your right to a second chance.
Okay. Trump had a second chance. Did it stop him from committing any crimes? That makes no sense. There are criminals that don't give a goddamn about a second chance. You don't know what war is, Clyburn? War is when a group of people hate you anyway, even if you're doing the right thing. That's how insidious it is. That's how insidious that conflict is in the U.S. There are literally people enjoying someone else's suffering as a trade for access to education, as a trade for access to healthcare. No, they don't want that. They don't want the healthcare plan from Biden. They don't want the student debt forgiveness from Biden. They don't want women to have access to life-saving medical care when they have an abortion or when there's something is wrong with their child, their fetus in the stomach. These Republicans literally want a woman to give birth to a dead child that might poison her body and kill her. That's what they want. And that's what they voted for. I mean, I don't get that. You know, forgiveness. These people don't even acknowledge that slavery was a wrong. Forgiveness. Has the United States apologized for slavery officially? Let me look this up. 2 seconds. Let me see here. Let me look that up real quick. I just want to make sure I got that right. I'm pretty sure I did, and if I'm wrong, so be it. We're gonna find out. But I myself, let me click over here. I have no clue what Clyburn is taking people, what road he's taking people down over this. Here it is. I'm just shocked by it, but this is just another day. Let's see here. Where is it? Did I put it right here? Yeah, here we go. Now let me see here. Has the United States given an official apology for slavery and Jim Crow to African Americans? Let me see what it says. Here we go. Okay, so I stand corrected. Let's play it back. Let me know if you can
The
hear
United
this.
States has made formal acknowledgments and apologies for its history of slavery and racial segregation under Jim Crow laws, but these actions have been largely symbolic. 1. Congressional apologies. In 2008, the U.S. House of Representatives passed a resolution apologizing for slavery and Jim Crow laws. It recognized the fundamental injustice, cruelty, brutality, and inhumanity of these systems and acknowledged their lasting effects 36 source. In 2009, the Senate passed a similar resolution, which included an explicit disclaimer stating that the apology could not be used as the basis for reparations or claims against the U.S. government. 7 source. 2. Presidential statements. Presidents such as Bill Clinton and George W. Bush have made remarks addressing the legacy of slavery and racial discrimination, emphasizing the importance of reconciliation and healing. 37 source. 3. State-level apologies. Several states, including Virginia, Alabama, Florida, Maryland, and North Carolina, have issued official apologies for their roles in slave source. While these resolutions and statements are significant milestones, they do not include material reparations or direct compensation for the descendants of enslaved individuals. The issue of reparations remains a contentious and ongoing debate in American politics and society.
Yeah, so no. It was an apology. Apologies went out. Hey, break room. Hey, sis. Yeah, apologies went out apparently in 2008, right? Here it is. Oh, I'm sorry, 2009. Yeah, in 2008, the House of Representatives passed a resolution apologizing for slavery and Jim Crow laws. It recognized the fundamental injustice, cruelty, brutality, and what is this? What the hell? And inhumanity of these systems and acknowledged their lasting effects. Yeah, it was a system, right? That was law. And but then right after, in 2009, the Senate passed a similar resolution, which included an explicit disclaimer stating that the apology could not be used as a basis for reparations or claims against. So you see, they couldn't even come up with an apology without telling you, but you can't use it for reparations. Who the fuck told you that? Does that violate international law? Just even passing something like that? You can use any evidences towards reparations. And an apology is one of them. You can't tell someone, I gave you this apology, but you can't use it for reparations. What kind of apology is that? So when I crash into your car or burn your house down, should I just apologize and not give you any compensation? Not deal with the losses of your family, what they lost? And they lost their humanity. How do you get your humanity back when you're still dealing with access to housing, access to education, access to health care? And what were those people left? Jim Crow. After slavery, nothing except a tax. And the people today, the very legislator today is telling people they don't even want to roll out student debt relief. They don't even want to roll out universal health care. They don't even, and there's loads of injustices for many people. So how do people just pick up the pieces then, Mr. Clyburn? You just pick it up just saying, oh, they apologized. Not for that type of wrong. If you stepped on my shoe, an apology is good. If you spilled something on my shirt, an apology is good. If you spoke out of line, maybe an apology is good. But slavery and Jim Crow, empty apologies, that does not cut it on the human rights level. The United Nations has said in writing that the United States must pay African Americans reparations. Must. That's what the United Nations says. So I'm not really getting it. I'm not really getting it. To me, it just seems like letting people get away with murder, basically. And on that note, let's find out where the apology won't be working. Hold on, let's go to Biden real quick. Biden, he gave a speech the other day, and I actually like Biden more than Clyburn. And I'm not dissing Clyburn, but hey, let me see here. Is this one day ago? Oh, look at this. They already got right-wing news. Physically unable to function. Joe Biden roasted after his teleprompter malfunction. That's all you heard out of that speech, huh? But that's what I'm trying to tell. Look, that's what Clyburn's talking about. Pardon them. Look at the right-wing media. They're going to laugh at you. They're going to laugh. Hold on, let me see this. An apology, Breakroom said, an apology doesn't erase 400 years of captivity and torture and rape and just all types of inhumane breeding, forced breeding, hanging, pure torture in the face of everyone else who just their job was to sit back and watch it because this is what normal is. Was that normal for others? No. Is that how people feel about others? No, they don't feel. I bet you the Republicans are going to be right on board with this. They always want people to pay consequences, right? Well, I mean, why don't we just free everybody in the jails and just say we forgive you? Any problem with that, Clyburn? Why don't we just pardon everybody indiscriminately? Everybody. Let's say your case says a police officer pulled you over, said you had a broken headlight, but you didn't. Said that they smell weed, but you don't smoke weed. Don't have any weed in your car. Right? What if the officer pulls his gun or begins to call you the N-word? I don't have to tell you that, N-word. What if the person has a 3 strikes and you're out and he's already got 2 strikes and the 3rd strike, he's going to go back or he's on parole and he just runs into a bad officer, and that person just happens to shoot the officer because they feel like they're being treated unfairly and life is unfair. Apologize for some penalties there. You tell me. I don't know. I mean, this is what a lot of people feel like in the United States of America. Clyburn, a lot of people on the left feel like, who've been supporting the Democratic Party, and they have every right to feel this way because it makes sense. They feel like they have been betrayed by the nation. They feel like they are being left behind. They've been saying it. They've been saying it. And it's true. It's true. How many generations of welfare? How many generations of poverty in one family? What about the psychological damage? Just because you can get your ass together and go to work, yeah, that's a physical activity. Maybe you can fake a smile, but I would say to Clyburn, you need to take some more time to listen to your constituency. I don't like what Clyburn said, but in any case, let me get out of here real quick. Go on to the next day. Here's Biden. I hope this is the right speech too.
To nonpartisan scholarship, our work is.
Oh, no. This was in the Capitol. Here we go. Here it is.
This is an ABC News special report. Now reporting, David Muir.
Oh, no.
Good morning, everyone. We're coming up.
This is a month ago. Is it this one? State of the Union. I'm sorry. That's what it is. Biden. State of the Union. I'm going to get into some other stuff, but let me hear this real quick.
The President of the United States.
Well, no. What is this? I'm not getting this. Look at this. What? 12 hours ago? Okay, that's blinking. 1 day ago? Wasn't Biden just in the Okay, well maybe I got confused here. All right, here we go. Let's just go back to this one. Let's see here.
I'm here to steal her back. You're the best, Cece.
Thank you.
You really are. Thank you. Well, this is only a 400-page speech. I wanted to talk about how the economy, and it is a daunting task to talk about the transition we're trying to initiate here. I want to thank you, Glenn. Thank you, Cece, for the introduction and for the leadership you served as chair of my Council of Economic Advisors. It's great to be back in Brookings Institution. I started here 400 years ago as a senator. God, it's hard to believe that's long ago. Oh, I know, anyway. But and then as vice president, and when I was thinking about running for president, I came here, and now as president. Last month, I spoke to the Economic Club of Washington, D.C. about the pivotal actions we took to rescue the economy from the devastating harm caused by the way, in my view, the pandemic was handled, and how we delivered immediate economic relief to those most in need. We got back to full employment, got inflation back down, managed a soft landing that most people thought was not very much likely to happen. Today, here at Brookings Institution, I'd like to talk about the pivotal actions we've taken to rebuild the economy for the long haul, and how we're at a critical, in my view, moment in the direction of the economy is going to take. Next month, my administration will end and a new administration will begin. Most economists agree the new administration is going to inherit a fairly strong economy, at least at the moment, an economy going through fundamental transformation that's laid out a stronger foundation and sustainable, broad-based, highly productive growth. That is my profound hope that the new administration will preserve and build on this progress. Like most great economic developments, this one is neither red nor blue. and America's progress is everyone's progress. After decades of trickle-down economics that primarily benefited those at the very top, we've written a new book that's growing the economy, the middle out and the bottom up, that benefits thus far everyone. And this is going to be the test going forward. Over 16 million new jobs, the most in any single presidential term in American history. The lowest average unemployment rate of any administration in the last 50 years. 20 million applications for new business records.
Yeah, I have it on fast play.
That is a record, I should say. Stock market hits record highs. I wish I owned a lot of stock. You know, the worst part of all this, I acknowledge it, Brookings. For 36 years, I was listed as the poorest man in Congress. What a foolish man. Anyway, 401ks are up more than $1 trillion.
Listen, look, there are people that literally are coming into power that believe Biden is a fool because he did not use the presidency to enrich himself. He didn't, Biden severed, you're supposed to sever your business ties, right? You're not supposed to have direct contact or any contact. Someone else has got to take care of that while you're the president. That's not what happened with Trump. His family members were in his cabinet while they were running the company. Can you separate one brother from the next brother? Can you do that? What makes you think one brother is not taking top secret information and giving it to the other brother who's running the corporation? Do you trust Trump to not do that? Well, Biden didn't do it. Is Biden's son or his wife a cabinet member? You see what I mean? And you better understand this. There's a lot of people that are classist, and they believe that if you do not use any opportunity to enrich yourself over the betterment of other people, they will call you the fool. Of course, you can't have a country with a bunch of people thinking that way. But the examples that we set from the top down are important. And we're about to have, it's not that other presidents haven't enriched themselves here and there. Of course they have. Some of them have. Trump's not even hiding it. We're talking billions and billions of dollars. Have you heard of Kushner, Jared Kushner? Where's he at? He's been real silent since he got those billions of dollars from Saudi Arabia. Hey, he's just gone. He disappeared. He don't even want back in the White House. He got that money. You didn't get that money. All those MAGA people living in those trailer homes, did they get that money? No. Jared Kushner came in with a job to get that money. He got it and he left. And you're not even concerned about him. You don't even care. I'm talking about MAGA folk. They don't even care that a guy walked in and just became a billionaire overnight. Could you do that? Is that your luck, MAGA folk? You gonna have that kind of luck? Hell to the mother effing no, you won't. You know why? Because you're broke. You're broke in a society that has issues with classism and racism. Yes, they do not believe that all human beings have inalienable rights and that all human beings, if given the proper opportunity, can do good by themselves, can achieve anything. They don't believe that. So you don't get that opportunity because they don't believe that's how it works. You see, that's a fundamental difference. Your tax dollars will be going to enriching these billionaires this time around. And you will be very lucky if a big accident doesn't happen like COVID. You will be very, very lucky. Because let's remember, people still don't know what happened with COVID. They still don't know. Was it on purpose? Was it an accident? Do you know? If you don't know, that's not a good indication that it won't happen again. Yeah, man, this is something else. Break room. If you're broke, are you even considered that? Hell, fucking no. Break room. You know what exactly what I'm talking about, girl. It's what I'm saying doesn't come from my heart. For me, I understand. Hey, sharing. I know what it's like to have a neighbor that didn't have sugar, that just knock on the door. Here you go. I know what it's like to see a homeless person. No, not even a homeless person. I know what it's like to see a man with an infant in the middle of the night sitting at a bus stop after the bus stops running and all he got is a transfer. And I just happened to see him in the rain, sprinkling rain on my way home from work in the middle 2 a.m. out of the corner of my eye. Lucky I noticed it and I was like, there's something strange here. A man with an infant at a bus stop after the bus running, after the time. The bus stopped running at 12 during the week in DC, man. I invited that stranger with that baby home to my place to sleep until the morning time. Gave the brother $1 in the morning and said, here you go, man. I hope you find your way. And a glass of orange juice so that his baby, not an infant, maybe like 2-3-year-old, so that his baby can have something to drink. So they wouldn't freeze outside. So the child wouldn't get sick and die because they don't have health care. Not everybody thinks like that. Not everybody's willing to do that. Definitely not. You know why? Because in the United States of America, they are teaching that if you have money, you are better and you are more deserving. That's what they're teaching. Of course, they're not going to say that, but that's what people have accepted. And that's what people believe, because that's why you have people like Trump doing anything, not caring about the effects of anybody, because being rich is more important. At least your ass have a place to sleep, even though you deprived others of a place. Trump, literally, the slumlord. Yes, the one who scammed his own state where he grew up in and the other taxpayers out of hundreds of millions of dollars. Fraud. It's classism. Did he get arrested? Did he get charged? Yeah. How long did it take them to do that? Decades. 4, 5, 6 decades of robbing people. 200 million. Do you know how much scamming you have to do in one state? And that's just one state. You know how much scamming you got to do? That's called classism, when money means you're protected. And we know Trump got the complexion for the protection. We know that because Trump ain't no different than Diddy. And where's Diddy's ass? He's in lockup in New York, in the state he come from. Where's Trump? Trump's about to be the president. There's no better example of that. And I'm not saying Diddy doesn't deserve to be locked up. Nobody can speak, but goddamn, brother, I believe you did bad things on purpose and you deserve to be there. Now, if you got something to say and I'm wrong, hey, fuck it. Maybe I am wrong, but it ain't looking like that right now. It's looking like your black ass is in jail. And it looks like Trump is not. Okay. Now, how many lives did Trump affect? Way more than Diddy ever will. Not taking away from the victims, because he's destroyed those people. You don't get violated like that and just wake up tomorrow okay, or a year later okay, or 10 years later and okay. No, man. Sexual assault fucks over people for their entire lives, yo. Violence in general fucks over people for their entire lives, but you don't hear the gun advocates crying about that. You don't hear Trump crying about that. If there is a person whose life gets taken with a gun, everyone else had to see it. What about them? What about their trauma? Any case, let me let Biden speak. So
And private sector investment in clean energy and advanced manufacturing in just 2 years alone. After decades of sending jobs overseas for the cheapest labor possible, companies are coming back to America, investing and building here and creating jobs here in America, in my view, where they belong. And of course, this economic growth is not without pain.
What is great about Biden and what I respect about Biden and Harris is that through their administration, they proved that you can do both. You can be better for business and better for the everyday American if you know how to govern, if you actually do your real homework, if you actually investigate, collect data from the communities, right? You can do both. Wealthy people can get richer, CEOs can get richer, and you can help the middle class and the poor do better. You can do both, and it won't do anything to hurt the economy. Why? Because the U.S. economy, like Biden always says, is too big to fail. You have to fuck it up on purpose. That's how big it is. This machine don't just stop. It's a successful thing, the United States of America. It just never got successful for the people that shed their blood, sweat, and tears for the nation. That's been the problem. That's been the problem. So I like Biden because he proved that, and he set out to prove that, and I appreciate that, Mr. Biden. Andrea, you there? Hey, sis.
The entire world faced a spike in inflation due to disruptions from the
Grand
pandemic
Rising.
and Putin's war in Ukraine. We acted quickly to get inflation down with the help of Republicans and Democrats. Inflation came down to pre-pandemic levels. Wages have increased.
Inflation came down, and this is during conflict. All these conflicts are still going on in different places. You know, it's called good management.
There's still too many working and middle-class families struggle with high prices for housing and groceries and the daily needs of life. At the same time as inflation interest rates continue to fall, we enter a new phase of our economic resurgence. With the outcome of this election, we also face an inflection point. Do we continue to grow the economy from the middle out and the bottom up, investing in all of America and Americans, supporting unions and working families, as we have the past 4 years, or do we move backward? In my view, backslide to an economy that's benefited those at the top while working people in the middle class struggle for a fair share of growth and economic theory that encourage industries and livelihoods to be shipped overseas. And I might add, I'm not anti-corporation. For 36 years, I represented corporate America. My state has more corporations registered in my state than every other state in the union. So I'm mildly accustomed to corporate America. And to see it grow is useful and helpful and necessary. But to make the most of the opportunities ahead of, I want to share key pages from our middle out.
The state that is making the biggest industry money, California, that's Democratic-led state, Democratic governor. You know, this is what we're talking about, management. You know, Biden said this, you know, it was a speech I heard recently. It must have been a speech he made some months ago and I missed it, but it was on playback on, what's the guy's name? What is his name? I forget the guy's name. I'm going to dig it up. But in any case, Biden said, he talked about the Republican states. He literally said, yo, how come the minimum wage hasn't gone up in your state? Republicans, he addressed the floor and was it in the Capitol building. He addressed them. You know, of course, no Republicans want to clap for Biden, but he pointed them out and said, how come the minimum wage hasn't gone up in your state? How come you're not voting for the minimum wage to be lifted on the federal level, Republicans? If you're complaining about the price of goods, that's what everybody else has been trying to do. But there's a problem. We got black folk living in Republican states. Everybody in the world had inflation, but a lot of the black folk living in Republican states, because the minimum wage in their state hasn't gone up since Jesus was born. You know what I'm saying? They feel it worse, but then they blame it on Biden. Doesn't make sense if you live in a Republican state to blame some state affairs on the president. What about the affairs of your own governors? What are your governors doing to make sure that businesses that employ people treat their employees right, give a livable and fair wage for their hours at work? I mean, do these people even, when you work at Walmart, and I'm not just saying Walmart, but any place, who gets 5 weeks vacation paid from their company that they work at? Who does? I do. I do. I don't live in the US though. I'm not rich, but I do. That's because it's a civil right here where I am. Everybody does. It's nothing special. Everybody does. How many hours do I work to get my union benefits? 32 hours a week. That's it. That's all. What are people working in the US that don't get paid vacation, that don't get health care as part of their package for their job, that have to pay for school? What do they get? What's their wage like? $7 an hour, $8 an hour, $10 an hour in a Republican state. Let me just tell you, you don't have a chance in hell of paying shit. You are left behind and you're accepting it. That's the worst thing, when you accept it. And that goes back to Clyburn's shit. He's telling people to accept that you can't get better, that you can't fight, that you can't continue to fight. He's telling you, hey, give these Republicans an olive branch because that may be the only way to bring the country back together. And you know how you give an olive branch? Pardon all the September 6 terrorists. Pardon them all. Let me tell you something. In good conscience, I could never do that because I know my black ass would be shot dead. If it was a bunch of people that look like me, we would be finished. And even some of those police officers that was talking about, oh, yeah, we defended the Capitol. Shit, you never know. One of them might have shot my ass just because, hey, different strokes for different folks. And I'm not saying they're racist. I'm just saying it turns out to be funny like that in a lot of spaces. You know, so I appreciate Biden's words, though.
Bottom-up economic playbook and lay down State the Union. So I'm mildly accustomed to corporate America and to see it grow as useful and helpful and necessary. But to make the most of the opportunities ahead of, I want to share key pages from our middle-out, bottom-up economic playbook and lay down what I believe to be a new set of benchmarks to measure against the next 4 years and see whether this theory is more than just a phenomenon. 4 years ago when I came...
Shit. Well, I already know it's not a phenomenon because it exists everywhere else except the United States. And the place where people are complaining about it not existing is in the United States. They're not complaining about it in Canada. They're not in Canada. They're not crying about the lack of health care because they have it. It's a civil right. They're not crying about lack of education. It's free. Everybody's getting educated in Canada. They're not crying about equal, fair housing. Why are they not crying about it? Because the government is doing something about it. Because it's their creed as Canadians to do things that way. What about the country I live in, Denmark? Why do they have it? Because it's their creed to treat their fellow citizen that way. Like a brother, like a sister, like a human being. Like if you have the same opportunity I have, then you have the same chances I have. I want you to have the same chances I have, brother, sister, fellow American, patriot. But in the US, they're not saying that. They're saying, why don't you work harder, bum? You on the street. How come you didn't work harder? How come you, pregnant mother, you on the street? How come you didn't work harder? Shouldn't have had that baby. How come you were spreading your legs? You know, the United States has a problem producing people. Yeah, Americans ain't fucking and producing babies enough. But the babies you produce, are you fucking taking care of them? Are you giving them a fucking chance? Child care. Where's the child care? How expensive is the child care? Clyburn's talking about give motherfuckers the olive branch for attacking the Capitol. Fuck you. Fuck you. Don't feel sorry for those fucking people, and don't feel sorry for the nation. Guess what? Sometimes you have to fight. Sometimes you have to fight. It's already ugly. But if you don't fight, if you don't see them pulling the wool over your eyes and getting you to accept the status quo or even worse, all I got to say is I don't have the fucking blood to give. I don't have my lungs, my breath to give that type of bullshit. I don't. Just as an individual, I expect to be treated. When I go to work, I show up on time. I do my job well. I study the things procedures and things that I'm supposed to do. I don't call in late. I don't call in sick. Really, I'm barely ever sick. But then again, I get enough food in my belly, healthy food. I get enough warmth from my heaters in my crib. I'm not working the worst job. Even though I started out working construction outside all day, it wasn't the worst job on earth, but goddamn, it was very demanding. But I had access to education to get access to different jobs, training, certifications, shit like that. You see what I'm saying? I mean, I'm just telling you people, even if you don't understand me right now, I'm telling you, don't buy it. Things can be way better. Because the United States has more money and more wealth and more success that it could make things way better and everyone could be happy if people wanted it that way. The reason why it's not is because there's a segment of the society that does not want things to be better for everyone. There's a segment of the society that does not see everyone as American. And you know something? Some of these motherfuckers have the nerve to try to talk to me on the internet like that. Like somehow I'm somehow less American. And I remind everybody, my family been here since the colonial days. When'd your family get here? And there's a lot of Sean Hannity. I've been saying this. A lot of these MAGA people, their fucking families ain't even from the US. They're first, second generation Americans. Literally not caring about poverty, not caring about children growing up in poverty, not caring about children not having a stable life to learn in. They're not concerned about it. That's a different way to be, but it's not sane. It's definitely not sane. Yeah. I'm gonna let Biden play some more. What made you pick up the shit? I just been traveling. I've traveled as a young. You know what? Break room. In my 20s, I did a lot of traveling as a DJ, doing music. For many years, I was a DJ for many years in my hometown. And then I started traveling. I got hooked up with a record deal and things like that. So I started traveling because of shit like that and seeing other parts of the world and traveling as a DJ. You know, and doing music, right? But in the US, and then eventually it became outside, right? So I've seen, you know, I've pondered some of these things even before I moved permanently abroad. But I noticed, like, damn, people are a little different around the world. They got 5 fingers on each hand, 5 toes on each foot, you know, whatever you call it, 2 eyeballs. They look like everybody, but they feel differently about patriotism. They actually want everyone that's from their citizenry, from their nation, having a stable life, having a fair opportunity, and their kids. But that's here. That's how they doing things here. Not as much money as the United States at all. At all. It's a choice. The United States citizenry has not made the choice. They've made excuses time and time again. And I'm not dissing Biden. I appreciate Biden. I respect Biden. He's been the best president that the U.S. has seen in a while. But the people are not picking it up. The people voted against childcare. The people voted against healthcare. The people voted against education, housing, basic shit. They voted against that because they just figure, hey, some trannies going to get access to equal housing. Some migrant is going to get access to health care. Then I don't want it. That's what they did. And nobody in my state should have it either. Even though I see these ladies and these kids and these men begging for money out here, kids with no goddamn jobs, nothing to do. I mean, has it ever occurred to people that if they had access to a trade or a university, a decent opportunity in it where they don't have to worry about the bills that their asses may not even be on the street? No, that's how most countries deal with it. Not in the US yet. And Biden's trying to get people to understand that. But you know what? Harris tried to get people to know that. But you know what? When you Americans are phobic. They see Biden, he's a liberal. That's all they have to do is attach it to it. He's a liberal, and liberal means, i.e., I hang out with people with color also. That's what liberal means. So that's the real meaning. That's the real problem when they say liberal. He's a white guy that advocates for middle-class white people and everybody else that ain't white. That's what liberal is. That's what they don't like about Biden. And Kamala Harris, she could have said exactly the same thing Biden said. She could have said exactly the same thing Trump said. She would never. They would not allow it because of how she looks. That's it. They won't allow it. And that's what they voted for. And it's not the leaders. I mean, of course, ultimately you could blame the billionaires for stacking the deck in the media against people, never calling Trump out for his lies, letting this, fluke ride around like Biden is sick and feeble, blah, blah, blah. They're still pumping that narrative, right? No matter what he does, they're just pumping that narrative, even though he's already proved he's probably the top state's rep that the U.S. has had in a while. I mean, more knowledgeable than Obama, more experienced than Obama. I mean, Biden is it, but these folks don't want that. They don't want equality in the U.S. That's just what it is. And if it's going to be, you have to fight for it, because without a fight, it's not coming at all. And let me tell you, without a fight, what do you think you're paying your taxes for? Your own enslavement? What do you think they're doing with their tax dollars? Doing everything to work against you instead of it working for you. So, once I traveled and I saw that, oh, damn, you could do this with tax money? Wow. You mean there's less people in jail by percentage over here? You mean there's more people in the United States in prison per capita than most places on earth, than any other Western nation? Why do you think that is? People would rather pay for prisons. They rather stack the deck up against you, see you fail, and when you get in a pressure situation and commit a crime, lock you up and make money off of locking your ass up. Yes, and for you white boys in jail too, you too. That's what they're doing to you too. But too many of you are too goddamn dumb to realize it. You're too prejudiced to realize it. See, you're racially prejudiced, but then you vote in some classes that don't even like you. They got $1 billion that would never do a goddamn thing for you anyway. I mean, The white boys, the rednecks, are in a conundrum in the U.S. You know, like really, they're in a conundrum. That's what it is. That they don't. If you came to them with what is in their best interest, you just, you know, you need to have a guy that's there before they accept it, saying racist, misogynistic things before they will accept it. But Trump ain't going to do that. Trump is going to say the racist, misogynistic shit, do the classist and racist shit, or do the classist stuff. Then he's going to, after he get $1 billion, he's going to go on his way. And there is nothing you can fucking do about it. Especially if you got people like Clyburn talking about pardon him. Look, I don't care. Trump could spend his 4 years in jail. I want to see his ass. 4 years in the White House. I still want to see his ass in jail after, if that's what it is. And fuck it, I can wait 4 more years. I want to see this dude go to jail, because if he does not go to jail, that means you're in a classist nation where you're paying the tax for people like him to do all the crimes they want and walk free, while people like you are going to pay every cent of your life for one little goddamn crime. You get a parking ticket, they're going to threaten to take your license so you can't go to fucking work. That's your idea of fair? Stop making excuses. In any case, let's get on with this. I don't have a whole lot of time, but here's something I found very interesting. What's this guy? CEO shot in NYC. Now, first of all, I want to give a disclaimer. I haven't been following. I don't know what I heard the guy's from a very wealthy family, Italian. I'm not sure if he's first generation or second generation or what. But you know, he had a manifesto. I haven't read the manifesto. He has some things written on the bullets. If it's him, you know, we don't even know if it's him yet, although it looks like him. Funny, ain't it? Looks like him, but let's be careful here. We don't want to accuse him too fast of murder. Don't want to do that, even though we got a picture with him holding the gun, showing you how I did it. Everything, you know, haven't charged him yet, huh? Clever. I want to find out what his secret is. But they did call him light-skinned. They called him light-skinned. Oh, man. Okay, let me see something. How long have I been on here? Yeah, okay, I gotta restart the stream in a second. But they've been here. This guy, they called him light-skinned. That's very, very odd. That was the first reports coming out of the U.S.
Overnight, man.
This is the guy they call light-skinned. Light-skinned as a black person is light-skinned, obviously, right? So they called him light-skinned, and you know, they didn't want to call him what? What did they not want to call him? I don't get it, you know?
Manhattan prosecutors filing a murder charge against Luigi Mangione for last week's shooting of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson.
Oh, so they finally charged him with murder. Okay.
Gunned down in the streets of Midtown Manhattan as he was visiting for a conference. Police launching a multi-state manhunt. A senior law enforcement official confirming to NBC News that a handwritten note saying in part, "These parasites had it coming," was recovered. The 26-year-old suspect was captured.
These parasites had it coming. I mean, what more do you need? What more do you need? You know, it's really strange. It's really odd, but yeah. What else do people need? You know, he's basically said it out his own mouth, right? That he doesn't. You know, he thinks that these people are leeches, right? Bloodsuckers, and whoever wrote that on the bullets, that's what they believe. That's what they said. He says from his view, it's about healthcare now. And the CEO from, what is it? United Healthcare. What the hell is this called? Let me see something here. What is it called? United Healthcare. Is it? Oh, United Healthcare, right? CEO. He's murdered. Well, I have to say that, yo, people getting shot down on the streets every day, B, in America, in New York. Did you notice? Some of them get shot down and go to a hospital and somebody turn them away because they don't have insurance. You know? Some shot by police. Some strangled by police. Anybody notice? Where are the billionaires when an innocent man gets strangled or shot by the police? Unarmed man gets strangled and shot by the police. Where are they? Where are the billionaires? The media right now seems to be a little twisted because they seem to be shocked. Yo, media, wake the fuck up. CNN, MSNBC, ABC, wake your asses up. There's trouble. This is not a normal day. This is trouble. And the lack of normalcy, that's been their norm. This is nothing new. The only thing that's different is a billionaire that got shot. So it shows you they value billionaires' lives. They don't know nothing. This guy could have been a scumbag. And I'm not saying he was, but look, he may have treated his kids nice. He may have treated you like shit. Who's he voting for? Is he advocating for healthcare for all? I mean, I thought that was called the Hippocratic Oath. A duty for a doctor to help people in need. Not in the USA. They putting the billionaire spin on it. It's like now you could work in healthcare and forget the Hippocratic Oath. It's not for everybody. And that seems to be the rhetoric around this guy's shooting him. If he did it, he hasn't confessed. They haven't beaten a confession out of him. There's a lot of answers to be questioned, but they're saying that the guy maybe had mental. Yeah. Okay, whatever. That might be it. Plenty of people have mental illness and go to work every day. Motherfuckers, Trump got mental illness. Are you blaming what he does on his mental illness? No, you're legitimizing what Trump does. I'm talking about generally America, the United States of America, Supreme Court. I'm sorry. They seem to feel a little different when it comes to billionaires losing their life. You see? So when it comes to things like police killing people, Trump is running on a platform of police immunity in a society where police have been taking unarmed people's lives, choking them. I can't breathe, shooting them. Show me your ID. Pull out the ID, shot. And other crimes, so I don't know. I didn't shed any tears about the billionaire, and I'm sorry for his family and everything and his loss. But look, do you live in the United States of America where people are walking on the streets homeless? Do you feel sorry about them? Do you feel sorry about the family that can't afford to put clothes on their kids' back? Because the father works at a job that's getting paid $7 an hour or $10 an hour, $10, $15 an hour. What the fuck? A father gets $15 an hour. Put it together with a mother getting $15 an hour. And what do you got? Nothing. Is he worried about that? I don't know. I'm not saying that he isn't, but, just talking about the very real feelings that Americans are having. Very real feelings, yeah. So this guy allegedly went out there and put some holes and ended the CEO's life. Now, the media is out there trying to make it seem like people that don't express empathy for the CEO, that there's something terribly wrong with that. Yo, media, wake up. It's 2024. A convicted rapist and felon is about to be in the fucking White House. Get your shit together. A compulsive liar that lies to you in your fucking face, CNN, ABC, MSNBC, for years, unabated, is about to get in the White House. Wake the fuck up. People have the right to not empathize with that when they're talking about the price of fucking food, when they're talking about the cost of healthcare, when they're talking about the cost of education. Media, major media, fuck you. What's wrong with you? You are broken, irrational, illogical, unreasonable. You are part of the problem. You're not doing your journalistic duty. Talk about Hippocratic oath. There is no Hippocratic oath in journalism today in major media. It is nothing about that. It's get paid, and we're going to flip-flop with whoever pays us the most, because a billionaire owns this company too. When was the last time you saw a media company owned by a person that gets paid $30 an hour, $15 an hour, $7 an hour? Yeah. Let me make sure I'm not missing none of these comments. Yo, let me talk. Okay, I got 10 more minutes. Let me see here. Yeah, so these are my thoughts about this guy. You know, this happens to be a simple thing. There's no middle ground. There's never a middle ground. A person that says, I did this because of this, this, and this, they're just all crazy. Nothing about what they say is real. Nothing about what they say is true. Because it's more important to pronounce him as crazy, because they don't want people feeling like they can make change by killing some of these CEOs that that are a part of companies that rip people. That's what they don't want. But they ain't got no problem with the cop killing your ass. They don't have any problem with anyone killing you. That's not what the media is talking about. They're not worried about the death you see day to day. Are the billionaires worried about it without issuing punitive damages towards people over and over and over and over and over and over and over again? You see, something got to give. Something got to give. Something got to give. Yeah. So that's what they be saying. Let me flip. I'm gonna cut this off now. I'm gonna break the stream down, and then I'm gonna back on some Diddy stuff and Jay-Z stuff. Give me 5 minutes, and I'm going to be right back. Let me link up the new stream. Oh, can I link up the new one? Let me see. Is it already done? 2 seconds. Let me make it here. All right, I'm gonna shut it down, and I'll be right back with y'all. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, yo, break on it. It is what it is. It is what it is. You know, it is what it is. And again, I'm gonna say it for the broke asses that voted for Trump. I just want you to know that I don't live in the United States of America. I have a union job. I have universal health care. If the normal one healthcare doesn't work, then the same funds that I pay into pay for the private hospital too. If the public one can't fix my issue fast enough or can't figure it out, yeah, the same private funds go to the private hospital then, so they can figure it out. It's mixed. It's not one or the other. It's, what do they call that? Comprehensive health care. You see, get my 5 weeks vacation because it's the law. Paid vacation. I get my 1 year off paid from work if I welcome another child into my family. Yes, because it's the law. It's the law. If I want to go to school tomorrow, I just sign up and I get paid to go because it's the law. Corporations seem to be working pretty well around here. We seem to be seem like we selling a whole lot of stuff, a whole lot of windmills, making a lot of windmill money, making a lot of green energy money, making a lot of pharmaceutical money across the world, even from the U.S. I mean, folks, we got to fight. You got to fight. I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to continue. YouTube doesn't pay me, but I'm in this shit for the long haul. I may not be able to be here on a scheduled time every day, but I'm here and I'm speaking my piece and I'm sharing my story, you know, so that others know, so that others can reflect on it. If you could accept my words as being from the heart, if you can accept my words as being a reference of how much I care for my own country, for my own people, to share some of my experience so that we can find some solutions, so that we can resolve some of the problems, you know? All right, y'all, I will be right back. And we're going to continue to.
Sometimes I think about, does love still exist? Yeah, I have my doubts. On the street, I check out how brothers be living. Yo, let's just say, kid, it ain't no Thanksgiving. We got people shooting dope, ain't never heard of hope. We got others with the gat and the brothers with the fucking scope. As I enter the project center rec rooms, some brothers might see the doom. I see my nigga